Myself, I am Naveen Kumar, working as an assistant professor in the department of ECE. Today we are going to learn about an important software tool which is nothing but Ansys HFSS. HFSS is defined as High Frequency Structure Simulator, which is an industry tool used for simulations of electromagnetic fields. Generally, this HFSS software is used to design different kinds of antennas for different kinds of applications. Many of the real-time applications, which is nothing but in the field of defense, DRDO and other kind of naval applications, these kind of antenna designing is very helpful. So in the today's class, how we are going to be install an HFSS software and how we are going to use this HFSS tool, we should learn in today's class. So before going to know about this HFSS tool, how we are going to be launch HFSS into your systems is clearly represented here. First of all, we have to launch HFSS software to go for start program. After that, go for all the programs and install all the concepts which is relevant to Ansys electromagnetics and should be pasted in your desktop. After that, go for HFSS options. Just press the tools button and go for the general tab. After installing this HFSS software, we need to set some kind of modeler options. So in this HFSS software, we are having different kinds of modeler options, which is nothing but grid concept, vertex, edge center, face center and quadrant. After that, we need to create a new project which is relevant to some kind of an applications which is going to be useful in this HFSS software. So before going to learn about some kind of an applications, we have to know about different kinds of antennas concept. Generally, antennas, we are having many kind of antennas. The first one is a microstrip patch antenna, second one is a circular patch antenna, and third one is the waveguide concepts. So in the today's class, we are going to discuss about how we have to design a microstrip patch antenna in the HFSS software. Before doing that microstrip patch antenna, we have to create a new project after installing the Ansys HFSS software. After opening a new project in your HFSS tool, we have to change the name as microstrip patch antenna and some other kind of concepts. After creating a new project, we have to save that project in your desktop. After that, we need to design a basic microstrip patch antenna. So after choosing a name to your new project, we have to create the driven solution setup for that project. So here we are having three kinds of driven concepts. The first one is model, second one is terminal and third one is transient. In HFSS concept, the solution type should be in the driven model in order to know about the different kinds of parameters which we are going to be measured after designing an antenna concept. After creating this driven model, all the units and all the designs whatever we are going to design in this HFSS software should be in the concepts of millimeter units. Suppose if you design a microstrip patch antenna, all the materials, all the designs whatever we are going to design in this Ansys software should be in the units of millimeters only. Suppose if you want to create a microstrip patch antenna, how we are going to be create a microstrip patch antenna in HFSS software? So in order to create a microstrip patch antenna, we need three kinds of concept. The first one is a substrate, second one is a ground plane and third one is a simple microstrip line. So another name for this substrate we are going to be represented as a dielectric layer. So before going to design this microstrip patch antenna, we need to create the dimensions as well as substrate, ground plane and the microstrip plane. After designing the parameters, after designing the units for this microstrip patch line, we need to create the substrate, ground plane and microstrip line. So in order to create these three kinds of concepts, we need to use three kinds of three-dimensional boxes in your HFSS software. as we already discussed that all the dimensions for each and every box, for each and every concept we have designed in this HFSS should be in the dimensions of millimeters only. Okay, so after that we have to create different kinds of variables for each and every one. The first one is the substrate, and second one is the ground plane, and the third one is a copper material as well as the microstrip plane. After creating the variables, we need to create the variables for substrate, ground plane as well as microstrip plane. So manually we are going to be calculated the dimensions of each and every box, whether it may be a substrate, whether it may be a microstrip plane, and whether it may be a ground plane. Okay, for example, if you want to create a microstrip patch antenna with dimensions of 50 by 50 having a dielectric constant with 1.6, we need to design a software, and we need to design the length and width of that particular microstrip line should be represented as 50 by 50 mm. 50 by 50 mm. After that, we need to individually create a substrate, we need to individually create a ground, and we need to individually create a microstrip line with different kinds of dimensions what we had already chosen. So in order to create that substrate, we need to go for box button. Only for the substrate we need to create the 3-dimensional box. For creating the patch and for creating the ground plane, we have to do about 2-dimensional box itself. Once know about the dimensions of your substrate, ground and plane, we need to start the design. So in this way we are going to be design a simple microstrip patch antenna by using a substrate, ground plane and as well as patch. After creating a microstrip line, after creating a microstrip patch antenna in HFSS, in order to estimate your design and in order to analyze your design, we need to check some kind of parameters in this HFSS software, which is nothing but S parameter as well as gain as well as the radiation patterns as well as E field, H field and some other kind of JSURF concepts. So in this manner we are going to be create a microstrip patch antenna by using HFSS software. Before going to analyze all these kinds of parameters after designing a microstrip line, we need to design a ground plane, a substrate as well as microstrip line for the feeding concepts.